Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today, this evening, depending on the part of the world that you're in, I am so proud, honored, and grateful to have with me Susan Namangale, who is the global head of the Gift of Chess. The Gift of Chess is a program that's designed to provide chess sets to schools, children, and prison systems across the world. And they just had a major success after heavy negotiations in the state of Ghana. And I hope I'm calling it correctly, the state of Ghana, because for us, at 60, Africa is one country, and it's been divided into two sections, countries inside of countries by colonizers, and thus I don't mean to disrespect it by calling it the state of Ghana, which is a part of the continent of Africa. Welcome, Susan, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Thank you. You're very right. You're very right. As you seem to know Africa very well, Jerry. Have you been to Africa?
I have been places that I can't talk about.
Oh, wow. And not in Ghana, not in Malawi, right?
I've been places I can't talk about, but as part of the military. So I have been on the continent, yes. I am also a public information officer for one of the stools um, in the Agogo traditional area of Ghana. So
Great.
I do study, and I do pay attention to the history, and I tell the truth always about what I feel and what's going on. But most importantly, here we have a young lioness, and I don't mean to compare you to an animal. I'm talking about the strength, the power, determination, and the support of a community, which is the community of chess, which is a community of people who are maybe missing out on critical thinking skills, which chess employs. Chess is life. If you think about it, it is a game of strategy, which can be applied to your daily life. It makes one see issues, problems, and circumstances in deeper levels if you permit it to teach you. And so I would like for you to tell us from the inside, looking out, your reflection on Susan Namangale and her rise from the ambassador of the gift of chess from Malawi to the global head of the gift of chess and the initiatives that you're now leading.
Great. So, Jerry, I think this is exciting. This is exciting, and thank you. Thank you for having your interest, in this and supporting us all the way because we really need the support. So for me, I think it's been a really exciting journey. I think starting from the day, that I met Russ, Russell in Chicago at the conference for Chess for Freedom in Chicago in May. So I think during our meeting, we had so much to discuss about, of course, I mean, with chess as our universal language. So I got to understand the amazing work that the gift of chess, had embarked already, had been doing across New York and as well as, to some countries in Africa. And that's, the moment that where I got interested and I became the ambassador for Malawi. So at that moment, I took it head on. I went flat out, uh, put up, volunteers, across Malawi, and we started our distribution exercise, to places that had never, heard about a chess set. And so it was so exciting that others probably have only seen a chess set, on TV. They have never, have a chess set, with them in their school. And so for them to have chess sets was a great thing. And so, as part of, distributing the chess sets, that's where now I got appointed, you know, by Russ and the board of Gift of Chess, you know, to lead the global outreach, and supporting the other countries that were, that were on the, on the list of, getting the chess set. So at that moment, we already had 25,000 chess sets in Kenya, in Nairobi, that were, meant to be distributed, to countries in Southern Africa. And so I joined at that moment where, it was challenging, right? Because, as you know, I think in Africa, it's not as easy in terms of logistics. It's the cost for distribution and all related costs, so we had to to get the chassis to all the other countries at that moment. And so we started putting in place ambassadors across all these countries, and thanks to the team that we have. So we have people like Phyllis in Kenya, who has been leading, the distribution of chess sets to all the other countries. So within a short while, we managed to send the chess sets to 13 countries in Africa. And the stories from there were amazing. And our volunteers, our ambassadors were all excited. And I'm sure you've been seeing the sort of, impact in the stories, reaching out to the, to the prisons, to the schools, even to the hard to reach areas, in all these countries. I must say that, chess has even taken me to places that I never thought that I would go to, in Malawi. It took me to an island in Malawi called Likoma Island, where I never thought that I would go there in my entire life, but it was so amazing. And so within that time, we managed as well as to get 20,000 chess sets to Ghana. And I think this was an interesting and a milestone that we'd been waiting for, because we knew by taking the 20,000 chess sets to Ghana, we will be able to reach now to the West, to West Africa, right? So I think this was exciting, and we managed to get the chess sets to Ghana, and now we needed to manage with the logistics, with making sure that the chess sets are cleared. And all these are, it's so challenging, to get everything done. But I think with the support of, Russ and support of our ambassador in Ghana, Charles, has been working hard and making sure that, we have everything right. And so at this moment, we're at a stage where, we are arranging to get these chassis to the rest of the other countries in West Africa. I must say that, Ghana, through, Charles, is organizing a big event. It's called Ghana Classic. This is a big tournament, which, is going to, get all some of the ambassadors together as well in Ghana. And we expect that this is going to be a great opportunity for us to launch the distribution for chess in West Africa. So I think that's where we are. I think this is our journey, and this is our story. Our goal is to distribute 1 million chess sets across the globe by 2030. We have been launching campaigns. I'm sure you've seen, we launched Become a Builder campaign, calling on donors to support us, calling on the chess community and all our fans and all friends around the globe to be part of us and to join, for us to achieve our goal, because it's not easy for us to, to distribute 1 million chess sets without the support of everyone. So thank you, Jerry, for this support, that you're providing, to the Gift of Chess, and for this platform that you've provided for me.
I am honored and grateful to have the opportunity to share the story. The GoFundMe is doing well. As of this moment, it's at $8,725 of the $10,000 goal. So your network and your supporters are certainly rising to the call. Anyone who wants to know more about that is GoFundMe.com and search Agad Mator, Agadmator. It is their Gift of Chest charity stream. So that's one of those. And also here in the States, Susan and her team and Russ have done an amazing job in the state where I'm at, in the state of Kansas. They just completed a tour of the Kansas State Correctional System. So the Gift of Chess is diving behind the walls, behind the bars, to help inmates and convicts to enjoy the gift of chess and evolve their way of thinking and regain hope and ability to navigate and handle problems outside, or I should say within inside, the accepted norms of society, and to develop skills that help them with their individual problems. Now, for the younger generation, such as the stream that you guys just did, I'm not sure that I'm saying the region, Agad Mator is, how can you pronounce that for me? Can you hear me? Did you freeze up?
Yes, I can hear you.
There were over 3,000 players that participated.
Yes, there were over 3,000 players, yeah.
In the Gift of Chess summer charity event.
Charity stream.
Which just happened. This is an amazing global movement, and we have this very strong, very wise woman who is at the head. Everything that we men have done, we have always ended up turning to a woman who is wiser and stronger than us and willing to get the work done and motivates people. And as the global head of the Gift of Chess, I think it's very important to note that Susan is ultimately responsible for the initiatives, marketing, communication, distribution, logistics, and pulling it all together on a global scale, not just in a city, but the whole world. And the mission of the Gift of Chess is so noble. How could it not be led by a woman at some point? That's the way I feel about it, and that's the way I'm going to stick with. I will defend it to the end. For you, may I know, please, what has been one of the most challenging things about getting the word out on the programs and initiatives of the Gift of Chess?
Yeah, so I think, like I've said, Jerry, I think the most challenging has been to sustain the program, especially to put resources together for us to, to achieve, the distribution of chess sets everywhere where we want the chess sets to be. So it's not just about, purchasing the chess sets, but it's about distribution, right? So there are actually a number of challenges, like I talked about Ghana, for us to be able to distribute the chess sets, we need to send the chess sets, to the rest of the countries. And the countries have different, tax requirements, cost requirements. So it's been challenging, for us in that respect. And that's the reason why I think we've been asking for support. We held the charity stream that you talked about, because we need a lot of resources for us, even to support our volunteers. We have committed and dedicated, team of volunteers who are willing to go out of their way to do the work that, that means a lot for a lot of people. But to do that, they still need support. And I think that's where we also come in to make sure that our volunteers, much as they are committed and dedicated, but they still need support for them to be able, to sustain and to distribute, the chess sets. So I think in terms of challenge, I think that's been our biggest challenge in terms of the resources, right? But we have the human resource, right? So we have people, volunteers, we have ambassadors all over that are willing to do the work, without being paid, right? We just need to bring the chassis together, and make sure that the logistical costs are paid for, and support the logistics, in the different countries, like to start up. So I think I would say that has been the biggest challenge on our part. And I think that's why you see us working so hard, to ask for donations so that we can sustain, the program and be able to meet our goal to continue distribution, and of course meet our ultimate goal to distribute 1 million chess sets by 2030.
I think one of the analytic numbers that I saw said it's only about $10 US to help distribute 1,000 chess sets. If I have that number correctly, I think I saw the chart, the breakdown. $10 can help distribute 1,000 chess sets. That's not manufactured. That's just, for us. And I don't know what $10 US translates into the various currencies on the continent, but it's not much. And people, you think about your children who you've had these conversations, and our educational system, and they're not coming away with defined methodologies to teach critical thinking and help our children solve problems on their own and think through them and create strategies that can be applied to life. And chess offers that opportunity. It's an expanded opportunity. It's a nuanced opportunity.
Yeah.
It goes beyond the straightforward. And to me, it's a worthy cause. It's different than, well, let's become a rapper or let's become a singer and let's sing about it. We have to teach our next legislators, our next doctors and lawyers how to think, our next people who are diplomats who negotiate different customs rules and regulations to achieve the distribution of programs like this. They have to know how to think, maintain their cool, and work through these problems. Chess gives them that opportunity. That's my opinion. I'll, at some point we'll discuss how chess changed my life. But it definitely is a thinking man's tool. And like I said, not just Africa, but the world. They're working on the world. We have a global issue that chess can address, from the prisons to the schools, to just people sitting in the parks, maybe wandering aimlessly, wondering what to do the next day, and what to do with their life. Chess offers an opportunity for them to formulate a plan. I might be overthinking it, but I really believe that these things are true.
Very true, Jerry. So that's how you say chess is a tool for education. And there's actually nothing that replaces chess in terms of, the skills that you just talked about. Chess provides those skills that a traditional school curriculum cannot provide. So the skills of, the critical thinking skills, problem solving. The world is going through a lot of problems right now, and all the different countries, around the world are going through different, problems, and these problems needs leaders, future leaders that will be able to solve these problems. and these children will be able to survive, the many challenges, that they'll be facing in their countries. So chess is not just a game. It's not just a game, but it is a tool for education. It is a low-cost tool to change lives and to unlock opportunities. And this is the reason why we have taken chess to the prisons, like you said. What we're doing in the Kansas correctional facilities as well, right?
Yes.
So you see what the impact, the impact that chess is doing. And Tony Ballard,
Yes.
who has been doing amazing job, in prisons. Right now with the distribution exercise that we embarked on already, we have reached out to like almost all prisons in all these countries where we have distributed chess sets. We have introduced chess in prisons in all these countries. And also we are actually expecting that, all these countries where we have distributed chess sets this year, they will be able to be part of the online chess championship for prisoners, right? That is being, organized, by the International Chess Federation. I understand that previously, I think there were only few teams, and there was like one team from Africa. But we're expecting that even now, I think there will be the prison teams from across the globe joining in the online prison intercontinental championship, because now we have made chess sets available in most of these prison facilities. And when you go to these prisons and you see the inmates playing chess, you see the joy that chess brings, the freedom that it brings. It's so amazing. I remember last time I was at a juvenile, prison center, and I had a young boy called Chifunilo, an 18-year-old Chifunilo, who made a testimony and says, I know I was here because of a theft case, but I'm not going to be a thief anymore. Chess is going to change my life. And because when I play chess, I think about moves, that I know if I make a blunder, I'm going to improve my, from those blunders and be able to make good moves when I'm out of this facility. And so it was so amazing. It's an amazing program when we have taken chess to prisons, and the impact is great. And it will also be great for us to see these teams participating in the Intercontinental Prison Championship. And thanks, Jerry, for that support as well, for highlighting chess in prison.
I was in awe. Russ shared a piece with me from the Department of Corrections tournament and the tour here in the state of Kansas. And excuse me, to see the Secretary of the Department of Corrections talk about the success of the program that they saw, and to have a guard, a captain inside the prison system say, I didn't believe, they've seen at 20 years working inside the prison system, you've heard pretty much every story, every excuse, and seeing people come back, in a recidivist wave, so to speak. But to have that captain who was the escort for Tony Ballard throughout this tour here, to have him say he saw the difference and he is a believer. This is someone from inside, one of the worst prison systems in America, who says, I see that this can work, and I hope that it goes forward. And to throw his support, it's one thing for an administrator who doesn't work inside the prison to support it as an ideal. It's another to see one of the foot soldiers from inside the prison system say, this is a good thing, and it's making difference for, they call them residents now, instead of prisoners, you know what I mean? But it's the same thing. You're a convict, you're an inmate, you're paying a debt to society, and you're detained. You're not free to come and go. It's the same thing, whether you consider a resident or not. To have a jaded prison guard of more than 20 years who's risen to the level of captain, which means he started at the bottom and is there now in a position of responsibility, say that this is working, you have to salute the organization that is the Gift of Chess and its organizers and supporters, fundraisers, administration, etc. And I salute you. This is something that can help to make our streets safer, our communities safer, and give men and women direction to use when they return home. They can have a plan. They can foresee problems, avoid those traps, and respond, and put themselves in a better position. Capture the center of the board, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, I would like, I've held you a long time, and I know that it's late at night in your part of the world. I would like to know the most satisfying part for you, Susan. And then you can tell me your rating. The, the most satisfying part for you about the successes that you've witnessed in your journey with the Gift of Chess organization.
Well, yeah. So I got a number. I got a number of them, but I think the most satisfying part for me is what I'm doing now, right? And I think that's been so satisfying. And like I said, I didn't know that I would reach to a stage. Chess would take me to this level where I would be leading a global outreach. I would be leading a charity organization in the US, to distribute chesses. So when I started my chess journey, I don't know, Jerry, if you know where I started from. So I grew up in the village, and it just took one day when my sister brought one chess set to the village, which she got from a US peace volunteer, right? So a Peace Corps. So it was a Peace Corps. So my sister got that as a gift from a Peace Corps and brought it in the village where I was, introduced it to me, and that was it. And so from there, I think when I got to high school, I joined a club, and I remembered I saw a chess set in my village brought by my sister. And then that's how I joined chess. And from that moment, I have never looked back. And here I am talking to you, Jerry, right now, because of chess. So I think that's the most satisfying part for me. But most importantly for me is to see the impact, that chess brings. In one of our stories, we showed a story of a little girl called Jennifer from a very rural village, where, chess has transformed her life. It's changing her networks. She's being able to, to go to other, countries to play chess, like changing her whole life, and the same way that it changed my life, right? So I never knew that I would be sitting next to Russ, for example, but it's all chess that has done that for me. And I think I find that to be the most satisfying. So for me, when I take the chess sets to the most vulnerable and, to people that are probably don't matter more in the society, like to the inmates, it's the most gratifying, it's the most amazing thing for me. And when you see the joy on their faces, that comes from playing chess, and that satisfies me.
I understand. I want to thank you for your time. This is Susan Namangale. She is the global head of the Gift of Chess. Find them on all social media at The Gift of Chess. They're on Instagram. They have some amazing stories throughout social media. They're on Twitter. I believe they're on TikTok as well. And you can see video clips of amazing triumphs like the 20,000 chess sets finally clearing customs in Ghana, to being distributed, to the live stream, to the prison. And, you know, I'm going to work that prison piece into this video segment, so we'll get a chance to see how it's working here in the United States and the difference that it's making. I also have a video compilation from the clearance from the customs house in Ghana as it's moving forward. We're going to include all of that so you can see they are certainly working. This group is certainly working across the globe to make things better for those of us who still have a shot at our sanity, and for our children and the next people who will take care of us as we sit in our old folks' homes, rocking chairs, swings, porches, huts, stoops, whatever. They are helping us by helping the next generations, and those who once didn't have hope and maybe didn't have the fine skills of critical thinking. They're helping through the game of chess, and not just in one part of the world. It's a global thing. Global head, The Gift of Chess, Susan Namangale. I look forward to speaking with you again and supporting the movement through the Hype magazine and my other outlets as well. I look forward to also tapping in soon with Charles over in Ghana, so that we can actually talk to him about the process and the triumph of getting those chess sets. Until next time, Susan, thank you so much for the time that you've given me. Thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to continuing to support.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Fast. Now below.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
'Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
'Cause I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out the Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.